John Wick Chapter 2 is a new action film that is hoping to be the savior for all American action films and to show them how you can do good action. And it does it very well in this movie.
Or do you want to just give me a gun?
So the original John Wick was an excellent surprise. And, it was directed by these two guys that used to be, stunt choreographers. And actually, after this film, they got them work for Marvel with the Civil War and some other things, too. And because that's how good they are. And this one is directed by just one of the directors, Chad Stahelski. And is written by Derek Kolstad. And, of course, starring Keanu Reeves as John Wick. And it's really, like, if you haven't seen the first John Wick, go see it. It's, I don't know if it's on Netflix. I know you can buy it relatively cheap on Blu-ray. And, it's a great action film. One of the best American action films in a long time. And this one continues that. Like, when they were, they must have listened to what everyone was saying about it. Because, they're saying that, in the first film that everyone loved that unique assassin world behind the scenes that is completely different from what actually exists. It's almost like a fantasy within the modern world. And it was really cool. And they said, no, you guys like that? Well, here's a bunch more of it. Have fun. And I did have fun. There's a lot of more of the exposition and world building for this Assassin Underground, and it's really cool. Like, especially when he goes to Rome. And like one of the coolest things is that he goes, is a sommelier in tonight? Oh, he is always in. And he goes in like it's all like double entendre sort of thing, where he's everything they're saying like could be for wines, but it's for guns, and he's picking out all of his guns he won for his assassination attempt going on later that night. And it goes on long, and I love it. Like, the whole thing is like, I know you enjoy the German varieties, but how about this? The Glock, the Austrian, they're doing something very good now. And it's like, it's so funny and cool. And, John Wick is such a badass. Like, I love that, that kind of, they moved away from recently just having a badass guy do badass things and murder hundreds of people on his way to get revenge or whatever. And it's just, like, there's no pulling any punches. Like, it's a hard R film. And, it is a great, even if you haven't seen the first John Wick and you still want to see this one, the beginning of the movie is the perfect setup. It reminds everyone that's been a while since you saw the movie, and it kind of introduces him if you haven't seen the first movie. And the first scene is some of the best scenes of the movie, where he has to get his car back from the original douchebag from the first film's brother, and it's just, every part, that is probably some of the best stuff in the movie. Now, I would say, after that, it kind of slows down a bit for the next 20 minutes and does all the exposition and everything. But, it's really enjoyable. One thing I loved about John Wick 2 is that they gave him a peer that he can fight that is as good as him or almost as good as him, and that's Common. And now, one other thing, Common isn't as good of an action star as Keanu, but, I mean, he does pretty good. It's just that there's a couple more camera tricks when they do the hand on when they're in the close fighting. There's a couple more camera tricks, but everything else, is all the action is in frame. And also, I love how they showed what an excellent stunt team can do. Because, even there's some things that the actors can't do, like the studio wouldn't allow the actors to do, that, you have to have stunt people for, but that's their job. And they use it so well. Because, like, if you watch some of the Taken series, especially 2 and 3, Taken 1 is good. But for Liam Neeson, who is not anything like an action star, they have to do, just when he climbs a fence, they have to do like 20 different cuts and have all these different angles and all different things that show seem like he's actually climbing the fence. But for this, Keanu is very good at the gun fu and the jiu-jitsu and the judo, and you can tell that he's good. And the stunt team makes him look even better. But for them, the stuff that you need the stunt person to fill in, they do it, but they don't have to cut. They don't cut hardly at all. There's one scene when they're fighting, they roll down this giant set of stairs. And I mean, what they do is that they pan out, they kind of zoom out, and they show the whole scene, everything happen, and it's far away enough that you can't tell it's not Common and Keanu. But I mean, the stunt team is really hard rolling down these stairs. And then they get to the landing, and they kind of zoom in for a little bit more close fighting, and that's when it's actually them again. Then they roll down another set of stairs, and they zoom out again. And after it zooms out, there's no cut or anything. It's just so, the stunt team is so good that, I mean, how anyone didn't get really hurt doing some of the stuff. They're hit by cars, and they're all sort of things that is, it looks real. And I'm really well done. This movie, you do get a bit of you have, multiple murder gasms throughout it. But that is the one thing that isn't as strong as the first film. Because, in the first film, after, slight spoiler, they kill his dog, you are really with John Wick. You're okay with him killing every single person that gets in his way, on his way to kill the little brat that did it, Wick. And, in this one, there's not as strong of a reason to have to kill all these people, other than they're just kind of goons, they're either trying to protect a person or they're trying to come after him. But it's okay, I didn't mind too much. And there's also these excellent scenes where all these random assassins start coming after him because they put a bounty on his head, and those are so cool, each and every one of them. But I will say that one of the best scenes in the first film is the club scene, and I don't know if the scenes quite match up to that, but it's a bit all shooting all the goons. There's maybe one too many of those things. I would have liked a little more variety. Instead, in the first one, there's a lot more variety. He gets captured, he has to break free, and a lot of stuff happens. And this one is a lot more straightforward, but it's still excellently done, and I really want to see it again, and I would highly recommend it. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10 or something like that. And, it is a really fun film that you should see if you enjoy action movies. I really hope that, and it did well, too. It doubled its opening weekend, I think, from the first one. And that's against a lot of other big films coming out. And, if it does really well, it seems like it's doing, it can show other people that want to make an action film that you can make a hard R action film with actual excellent action, and people will go see it. People don't like, the shaky camera. I hate that, the Bourne series, they're a good series of movies, especially the first 3. But by doing that shaky cam and taking an actor who is not an action star and turning him into an action star by doing the camera tricks, that it showed everyone that wasn't as a good director as the person that did the Bourne, that, hey, you could do that shaky cam and do a bunch of edits and have these famous actors look like they're badasses. Interesting. And, the idea is that they try to make it, nothing is in frame, you can't see what happens. And what's the point of an action film if you can't watch the action? But, hopefully they'll watch this, the creators and the producers and, the big wigs will see this and go, well, I guess we could do it for real. We could do a little bit more real action, and people will, go see it. So hopefully that's what happens. And thanks for watching, and you can subscribe to me and check out my other playlists around my head. And thanks for watching.